Hey, I'm back, and we are working in Chapter 7, which is focused on distortions, gradient meshes, envelopes, and blends. And I am right now demoing on the gradient mesh portion of the chapter. The textbook is, of course, Adobe Illustrator Creative Cloud Revealed by Chris Botello. And we're going to make sure Illustrator is activated. Then we're going to do a file and open. And we're going to browse to where our data files are. And we're going to look for 7-5. Click open. And I'm going to make this a little bit narrower. Then we are going to save this, do a file, save as. We're going to save this as heart mesh underscore your name. And click save. Now we're going to select the heart, and I'm going to do with the selection tool. I'm going to select the heart. We're going to go to Object on the menu bar, and then we're going to click on Create Gradient Mesh. The Gradient Mesh dialog box comes up, and we are going to type in 4 in the rows box, 4 in the columns box, and then we're going to click OK. And you'll see the impact that has, the gradient mesh that it's created in the heart shape. Now we're going to deselect, and then again we're going to get the direct selection tool, and we're going to click just on the edge of the heart. And you'll see that that allows us to select the mesh. We're going to click the mesh point in the upper left section of the heart, as shown in figure 14, or you'll see it on my screen in just a moment. There you go. And you'll see that then the one that's selected is, in my instance, it's the red, and it says solid red as opposed to the white gradient mesh points that are not selected. So we've got that clicked, and then we're going to change that mesh point color to 10% black using the color panel. So we want to bring up the color panel. And we're going to change that to 10% black. Alright, you'll see in order for me to get the scroll bar that allowed me to change that to 10%, I went under Options, and then I selected the grayscale option. Alright, and we are going to change that to 10% black. And you'll see that the new color gradiates out from that mesh point, which it does. Now we're going to get the mesh tool, and we're going to press and hold Shift, and then we're going to drag the mesh point along the mesh path to the left as shown in figure 15, or you'll see it on my screen in just a moment. And it changes that point of the highlight. Now we're going to repeat steps 5 through 8 for the gradient mesh point in the upper right section of the heart. So we're going to go back up here to step 5. And again, we have to have the direct selection tool. Or did we have the, I think we actually had the gradient mesh tool. And we selected this point. And then we changed that mesh point to 10% black. At that point, we got the mesh tool. Press and hold Shift, and then drag the mesh point along the mesh path to the left, and in this case, we're going to be going to the right. Now we are going to take a look at it. You'll see that the mesh is reconfigured on both sides of the object, which it is. Now we're going to get the direct selection tool, which is the white selection tool. We're going to again press and hold Shift, and then we're going to select the 20 mesh points and anchor points all around the edge of the heart. So I'm going to deselect that to begin with. Then I'm going to hold down my Shift, and I'm going to select 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and there's 20. All right, so we have all of those mesh points selected. You'll see that mesh points appear as diamonds and have the same properties as anchor points with the added capability of accepting color. Now we're going to apply a black fill to the selected mesh points. So we're going to go back up here to our color. Change it to grayscale. I'm going to do this 100% black. And there we go. The selected anchor points are unaffected. Your work should resemble figure 17 or mine on the screen. See, I deselected my anchor point so you would not be able to see that, but had I also had that selected, the anchor point would not have been affected. Mesh points at the edge of the object are filled with black, which is what you'll see with mine. Now we're going to deselect, and we are going to select the 3 interior mesh points in the lower third of the heart, and you'll see those here. And again, mesh points are like anchor points with the added functionality of accepting color assignments. So it looks like to me, I'm going to zoom in on that to see if we can see those diamonds any more clearly. Well, hopefully your eyes are better than mine, because I don't. Here. They just keep getting smaller. How dare they? Okay. All right, so we are going to get the direct selection tool. Select this, 2 and 3. And then we're going to apply a 60% black fill. And then we're going to select the mesh point at the center of the heart between the two 10% highlights. Not sure if I think they're talking about this actually. And then apply a 60% black fill. And then compare your work to figure 19 or mine on the screen. And we're going to Command or Control S to save our work. And then we're going to close out the heart mesh document. And I will be back in a moment to demo another, do another demo for you. I think one more for this chapter 7. See you in a few.